Hello, Kelly Farber again. Hi yogis, I hope everyone is doing well. We are going to work on opening up our hips and doing some twisting. So we're going to be working on funky chair, which is a leg balance, just one leg, using our balance on one leg. So what we'll do is we're going to do a funky chair, and you can work on that, or if you'd like it to take it a little bit further, we'll take it into a twisted funky chair, and then with also another option if you want to do a bound funky chair. So you've got 3 different options, and any levels can do this yoga practice. So let's go ahead and lay back on our backs, stretching our arms to the sides, stretching out our legs. You can either stretch your legs out, or if you'd like to go ahead and start opening up your hips, you can put the bottoms of your feet together and have your legs out wide. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, out through your nose. Just nice, easy breaths in and out. Taking a scan of your body from head to toe, and any area that's feeling tight or is bothering you at the moment. Taking your deep breath in, drawing in all of that good, powerful, strong energy, and on your exhale, taking that area that's tight and just exhaling it out, leaving it behind. Make sure you're dropping your shoulders down into your mat, not keeping them tense, getting out all of the tension that you're feeling at this moment. We are filling up our lungs. Everything that is good, maybe setting an intention today, and on your exhale, exhaling out all of that old air, leaving it behind, getting ourselves ready for practice. Working towards possibly a 5-count deep breath in through your nose, filling up those lungs, and a 5-count deep breath out, emptying all of that old air out. 2 more cycles of breath in and out. 1 more in and out. With this next cycle of breath, taking your hands on the outsides of your thighs and closing your legs together as you're taking your arms overhead for a full body stretch. Stretching from the tips of your fingers down your spine, through your legs to the tips of your toes. And with your next deep breath in, draw your knees into your chest, rocking side to side, maybe giving your legs some circles, maybe taking them one direction, maybe taking them the other as you're pressing your low back against the mat. And we're just going to keep our legs or feet flexed as we're bending and straightening our legs, getting our hamstrings warmed up, straightening out your legs, drawing your toes back towards your shin as you're pushing your heels up towards the sky. If you have a slight bend in your knees, that's okay. You can keep your hands behind your thighs, or take your legs up towards your calves, but just making sure that you have your shoulders grounded into the mat, not taking those shoulders with you. And bringing that right knee into your chest, and taking that left leg and taking it down to the mat, and grabbing either the outside of your shin, the outside of your ankle, or the pinky toe side of your foot. As your leg is bent, you're just gently opening up your hips as you're taking your knee just leaning it towards the mat, but still keeping your low back flat against the mat and your left hip still up against the mat. We're not taking it over with us in this happy baby. And releasing the right leg, we're going to take the left knee into our chest for a big squeeze. And now grabbing the outside of that shin, ankle, or the pinky toe side of your foot for a half happy baby on this left side. Just gently pressing up against your foot that is flexed, the bottom of your foot, and just opening up your left hip. And now we're going to switch those legs, bringing that right knee back into your chest and straightening out the right leg. We're going to pulse towards that right foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and straightening out the right leg to your mat and keeping that, bringing the left knee back into your chest and straightening out that left leg. Foot is flexed and reaching towards your feet again, using those abs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to take both legs up and we're going to go into a full happy baby. So you can either take your a hold of your shins, your ankles, or the pinky toe side of your feet, and pressing, just gently pressing against your feet, making sure your low back is on the mat, your shoulders are down your back for this opening of both of your hips. And releasing your legs, we're taking both feet, bottom of your feet down onto your mat and crossing into a guy's cross. The right leg over the left, and we're going to grab underneath the left thigh and pull both legs towards your chest, keeping your low back against the mat. Feeling the outside of your right hip light up. And releasing that leg and taking the legs over to the left side of the mat. When the bottom of your right foot hits the floor, just gently lean your right leg towards the front of your mat, and you do feel again the outside of that right hip light up. So we're going to be really working on our hips for that, for all of the 3 different variations of funky chair today. And bringing both legs up, we're going to switch legs. Left leg crossing, guys cross, over right, grabbing the back of your right thigh, pulling both legs towards your chest. And releasing the legs and taking both legs over to the right side of your mat. When the sole of your left foot hits the floor, lean your left knee towards the mat, making sure when you're doing these twists on both sides that your shoulders are grounded into your mat. And releasing that, coming back up, bringing your knees into your chest, and we're going to rock up into a seated position. My legs are crossed. I've got a long, straight spine. Taking my chin down to my chest, I'm going to roll my head one direction, taking it one way, and then equally taking it the other way for this roll. And you could even rock it back and forth. And having a long spine, I'm going to twist over to the right side. So my left arm is above my right knee, and my chin is still over my heart as I twist around with my ribs for this nice first twist. And let's twist it over to the left. My back hand is just like a little kickstand in the back. My chin is still over my heart as I'm twisting with my ribs. And now I'm going to roll around onto all fours, however way you need to get to all fours. We're going to start with our cat-cow, making sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your knees, pressing your heart space towards the mat, rolling your head up, keeping your abs tight for an inhale. And exhale, arching your back, taking your chin to chest for cat. We've got 2 more rounds of these. So rolling it up for cow. And exhaling, arching your back, tucking your tail in for cat. One last set. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And walk your hands forward. Rolling your toes under. We're going to go into our first downward facing dog. So make sure you've got a long, wide downward facing dog. Go ahead and start with go ahead and bending and straightening your legs, just getting your legs warmed up, getting your hamstrings warmed up. And then when you're ready, settling into the pose, making sure that you're pressing between your thumb and index, and your shoulders are down your back. I'm pressing my hips towards the back as I'm pressing my heels towards the mat. Now your heels should not be touching your mat. This is lengthening out your body and your spine. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step as many steps as you need to take to get to the front of your mat. Come halfway up, inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up, bringing your hands together, taking them to heart center. We've got 2 sun A's. Sweep your arms up and go ahead and releasing, diving down, hips over heels, down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, step back to plank. You can always drop to your knees. Press your shoulders past your wrists, and we're going to slowly lower as I'm kissing, as my elbows are kissing my ribs when I'm lowering down to my stomach. My feet are flat against the mat. Inhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, exhale. Back down. Inhale, lift, exhale. Back down. Use those back muscles. Inhale, lift, exhale. Back down. Roll your toes under to all fours. Keep your right knee on the mat. Sweep up your left as you sweep up your left arm. You can keep that left leg down or kick that left leg up for this modified side plank. And sweep it over to the other side. So switch it to the other side. Right arm up, right leg up possibly. Back down to all fours. Roll my toes under. Press up into downward facing dog. Look to the front of your mat. This time we're just going to walk a tightrope. So just walk a tightrope. You're stretching your hamstrings as we're walking up to the front of your mat to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up. Stretching up tall, we're going to immediately dive back down, hips over heels to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, step back into plank. And press your shoulders forward as you lower it down to your mat. And we're going to straighten out our right arm. So my thumb is up, pinky fingers down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Bring that arm back. Lift that left. Bring the left arm forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Make sure your feet are flat on the mat. And as I'm straightening both my arms forward, I'm bringing my hip points up. So I'm really elongating my spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Bring my arms back at my sides. Roll my toes under onto all fours. I'm going to go back into another modified side plank. Sweeping up my left arm, my left leg. Maybe staying here. Maybe taking your knee to your elbow. For 3. For 2, for 1, we're going to switch it over to the other side. Sweep up my right arm, sweep up my right leg possibly. Now stay here or elbow to knee. 3, 2, 1. Back down to all fours. Roll my toes under, plank, press back into downward facing dog. Look to my front of the mat. Step to the front of the mat, as many steps as you need to take. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep my arms all the way up, stretching up tall, bringing my hands together, taking them to heart center. All right, we've got sun bees that we're getting ready for, and that includes a vinyasa. You do not have to take it, but if you would like to, you are certainly welcome. I'm using blocks which are 9 inches tall, so if you want to take something or 2 items that are 9 inches tall, put them at the top of your mat, at, shoulder width apart. And you can also use a chair if you'd like to use a chair, and you can use that too to help you. The chair will help you when we go into some one-legged balances to kind of help with your balance. So I'm going to start with my knees, on my knees for the first vinyasa. I'm going to show you that. And you can always, if you do not want to do a vinyasa, you can always just push back into downward facing dog. So I've got my blocks at the top of my mat, and they're shoulder width apart. And we're going to sweep our arms up and diving down forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep those arms up one more time, bringing your hands together and bringing them back for prayer hands. Back behind your head and sit back into chair. So I'm pressing my hips back. As my weight's on my heels, I should be able to lift my toes. I've got my hip points pulled up, and I've got my chest out. I'm pressing my heart space towards the front. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, step back into your vinyasa. Now I'm going to drop to my knees, and I'm taking my shoulders past my wrists. As I'm dropping my shoulders, just tapping my blocks, taking my long neck, and roll my toes under, press back into downward facing dog. Let's kick up your right leg and bend that leg and bring your heel to your left cheek. Just open up your hips and take that leg, press it all, bring it all the way through to the front of your mat. Spin your back leg down. Let's come up for our first warrior 2. So I've got a wide stance of my legs. My knee is stacked over my ankle and also tracking with my second toe. I've got a long spine. My shoulders are stacked over my hips. I'm going to flip my front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling, not back, but up towards the sky for this reverse warrior. And drop my right arm down to my thigh, or drop my fingertips down to the mat as I'm looking up. Now looking down is easier. Looking up is a little bit more difficult for this side angle. And I'm going to spin my arms down to the mat and walk around to the left side of my mat. And I've got both my toes pointing towards the left side in this wide leg forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to deepen into this wide leg forward fold. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Walk back around to the front of your mat and kick up your right leg. Release it down. You can vinyasa if you so choose. And we're all back meeting in downward facing dog. Kick that left leg up and bend that leg back as you're dropping that heel towards the right cheek, but not opening up your right leg. We're just opening up our hips. Kick that leg up, kick it all the way through, and spin your back leg down. We've got our next warrior 2. Flip that front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling for this reverse. Drop your left arm down to your thigh or down, fingertips down to the mat as you're looking up, not caving in your chest. You're keeping your chest open for this side angle. And I'm going to walk around to the right side of my mat. Now this time I'm drawing my heels in, toes out, and I'm just going to sway back and forth. Just opening up our hips. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Walk around to the front of your mat and kick. Your left leg up, release it down. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step or hop. To the front of your mat, come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up. Bringing your hands together, taking them to heart center. Sweep your arms up and exhale, diving down. Forward fold, inhale. Halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, step back into your vinyasa. Now you can always still drop to your knees. I'm pressing my toes forward, dropping my shoulders down, flattening my feet, long neck, rolling my toes under, pressing up, downward facing dog. Kick your right leg up. Bring your right knee over to your left elbow for 3. Kick it up, take it over for 2. Kick it up, take it over for 1. Kick it up, kick it all the way through. Spin that back leg down. Warrior 2. And I'm going to drop my right arm down. You can still drop it down to the thigh, or I'm dropping my fingertips down, still looking up, not caving in my chest. And I'm going to come back up, going towards my blocks. Bend, push, lift. As I kick that left leg, flexing my foot, and taking it towards my props or your chair, or taking it above that, still making sure your shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. Dropping my hands down, foot down, kicking up, my right leg up, release it down, vinyasa between sides, and press back into downward facing dog. All right, let's kick that left leg up, bend the knee, take it over to your right elbow for 3, kick it up, take it over for 2, kick it up, take it over for 1, kick it up, kick it all the way through, and spin that back leg down. We've got our last warrior 2 before our break. And go ahead and drop your left arm down. Still looking up towards the sky. And bring your arms back. Bend, push, lift that back leg, flexing that foot. The energy of kicking that leg up is what helps you balance, stacking your hips, stacking your shoulders, dropping hands down, foot down, kick, left leg up, release it down. Okay, we're ready for our break. Let's kick our right leg up, bring it into our nose, drop it sideways on the mat as you lower your right shin and lower your left leg flat on the mat. This is the time if you want to get yourself a drink or shut the video off to give yourself a little bit of a break. This is kind of where we're going to be in our break right now with the right leg forward. All right, so if your right hip is tight, you can take your prop and put that underneath your right hip. You can use a pillow, you can use a towel, you can even take, if you've got some of your if you're going to use books as your prop, you can even press them up there or put them right underneath that right hip to prop that hip up if you are tight, because you don't want that hip leaning towards the mat. It needs to be up towards the mat. All right, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. We're going to take our hands down to the mat. You're going to roll the toes of your left foot under, and we're going to kick that right leg up, and we're going to cross it now above the left knee. As you walk back to the back of your mat, I'm going to put a slight bend in my knee. We're going to go into, this is our first funky chair at the back of the mat. So my leg is above my knee, so my shin is above my left knee. My foot is flexed, and I'm going to bring my hands in at heart center as I'm in this first funky chair, or you can even take your hands to the mat if you need that for support. Also, if you need a little bit more support, you can take a chair, hold on to a chair. Just make sure, that you're still able to balance on this left leg. So drop my hands down. I'm going to walk back to the front of my mat, kick up my right leg, take it down to the mat, kick my left leg up, kick it all the way through, and, sorry, kick it, or bring my knee into my nose and drop it sideways on the mat, and dropping that left shin down as I'm dropping my right leg that is straight from my sit bone all the way down to my big toe. And again, if that hip is tight, because you might have one hip that's tighter than the other, take a block and just place a block or a prop underneath that hip, and that'll help you. Make sure that you're in the correct position of this pose. We're taking our breathing down. Try to get it down to a 5 count deep breath in, and a 5 count exhale out. And come up onto your hands, still pressing between that thumb and index, rolling the toes of your right foot under, kick up your left leg and bring your knee back into your nose and cross that leg over again. So we're crossing now, this time the left leg above the right knee, and I'm going to walk back to the back of my mat. Again, my foot is flexed, and I'm going to come down into my first funky chair. And again, use the props if you need it, it's okay. Bring your hands back down to the mat, walk back to the front of your mat, and bring up that left leg, drop it back down to your mat, so we're all back, lengthening ourselves out in downward facing dog. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up, bringing your hands together, taking them to heart center as we're sitting back in our chair, and we're going to twist. So twist over to the left, right elbow crosses left knee, and pressing that left knee up against the elbow. You're twisting with your ribs, not with your spine or your neck. And twist it over to the other side. And release it down. Forward fold. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale. Forward fold. Step back into your vinyasa if you choose to take it. And we're back, meeting in downward facing dog. Kick your right leg up and bring it into your nose. Drop it down, hovering over the mat. We're going to suck it up using your abs for 3. Bring it back up for 2. Bring it up for 1. Kick that leg up. Kick it all the way through. And keep that back heel lifted as you're grounding the right heel into the mat, and my knee is stacked over my heel. I'm coming up for my crescent. So my weight's back on my back heel. My shoulders are down my back. And I'm going to bring my hands in, taking them down to heart center, bend, push, lift, and I'm going to cross my left leg across my right knee, and I'm going to sit back down into another funky chair. Now, this is what I mean by using those props. You can just use one, just to use it as your balance if you need it for this funky chair. And bring your hands forward, keeping your palms together. And I'm going to take it over to across my leg to my left arch. So I'm going to show you this. And this will be our first twisted funky chair. So I'm going to take it down and cross it. If I get my balance, cross it over. Now you can stay here and try to work your balance. Obviously I'm having issues with mine when I cross it over here in the center. So you can stay here or open those arms up for your funky chair twist. Now I'm looking down. You can also look over to the side. That is a little bit harder, as you can tell by me. So I'm going to be at the top of my mat and go ahead and stay here for this twisted funky chair, whether you want to stay with your hands together or open those arms up. Looking down, like I said, is easier. Looking up or looking out to the side is a little bit more difficult. Bringing my hands back in, kicking my left leg forward and kicking it back to the mat as I kick up my right leg. Release it down. Again, you can vinyasa because we got the other side. And we're all back, meeting in downward facing dog, lengthening ourselves out. Kick your left leg up, kick it all the way through, in between your hands. Keep that heel grounded as we've got that back heel lifted, coming up to crescent. And bring your hands together, down to heart center, bend, push, lift, and cross that leg over as we bend and get low. Now, again, stay here. Or I'm going to take and cross over and cross my arms, keeping them together. And I'm at my arch of my right foot. That's why my foot is flexed in this funky chair. Stay here or open those arms up. Hands back together. Bring them back in. Bring that leg forward. Kick it back and kick back. My left leg, release it down. And look to the front of your mat. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep my arms all the way up. Bringing my hands together, taking them to heart center. We're going to do, now, if you want to try the regular funky chair, or if you want to try that twisted funky chair, or if you want to try a bound funky chair, you can try it with me. Now, if you want to grab a strap, you can use a strap for this bound funky chair, or get a towel, get a t-shirt, something so that you can bound in that funky chair. So what I'm going to do, and you can be at the top of your mat, but I'm just going to show you how this bound funky chair works. I'm going to take my right leg, bring it up and cross it over, still keeping that foot flexed. I'm going to come down for my funky chair. And again, use those props. I'm just going to put one right here just to show you. That's also for me in case I have balance issues. Okay, so my right leg is up, crossing above my left leg. So my right hand, my right arm is going underneath my right knee. And I'm just placing, so my palm is up. My left hand is going to come around on my low back and either, like I can touch, but you don't have to be able to touch, but you can even use those straps to get that to touch. And we're going to come back up. So it's like I'm at the front of my mat. I'm going to show you now on the other side. So bring my hands in at heart center. I'm going to bring my left leg in front, cross it over, and I'm going to come down and get low. Still pressing my hips back. So now my left arm underneath my knee, my palm is up, and my right hand comes around, grabs my hands. Or if I had a strap, grab my strap, or grab my pillowcase, or grab my towel for this bound funky chair. All right, so you can try that a couple of times. If you want to turn off the video and try it for yourself slowly a couple of times, that's great. So if you're ready, we're going to just do some few counter stretches before we go into our Savasana. So we're going to sit down onto our mat. My legs are straight in front of me. Toes are up, stretching my arms up, and I'm keeping my back straight and my shoulders down my back. So I'm not caving in my chest. So I'm just leaning forward as far as you want to take it. Leaning forward, but not caving in your chest. So when you've got there, then just take your chin down to your chest for a stretch. And walk your hands back. Bend your right knee. And now we're going to stretch our arms up and lean forward over your left knee. Foot is still flexed. I'm not caving in my chest. Dropping my chin down to my chest for a stretch. And I'm going to walk my hands back up. Straighten my right leg. Bend my left leg. Stretching my arms up and leaning over my right leg. And taking my chin down to my chest. Once I've got to where I'm at the height of my stretch. And let's walk our hands back up. And we're going to lay back. And bringing your knees into your chest. And go ahead and straighten out your right leg. And stretch your right arm up like you've got a question, and we're going to roll over onto our right hip and bend your left leg back for a quad stretch. Just taking that heel back to your tush. And we're going to roll back onto our back, stretching, equaling that out. So stretching, full body stretch. And keeping your left arm up, we're going to roll over onto our left hip and bend your right leg back for a quad stretch on the right side. And stretching your legs back out, full body stretch. And taking your hands down, watch out for your props. Taking your hands down to a snow angel with your palms up, dropping your shoulders down your back. You're slowing down your breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Filling up your lungs, belly, ribs, chest. And exhaling all of that old air out. Chest, ribs, belly. Emptying it all out. Taking some series of these breaths, cycles of breath. In and out. Taking in all that is good. And exhaling everything else out as you're relaxing from your head down through your brow. Relax your jaw. Relax down the back of your neck to your shoulders. Just letting your shoulders feel heavy into your mat. Taking that relaxation, taking that heaviness down your arms. Taking it down your spine to your hips. Letting your hips sink into the mat. Taking it down through your legs, your calves, ankles, feet and toes. Just taking this time just for you. Just taking your mind down to one point of focus and just be for a moment. taking your mind back to the sound of my voice. Begin slowly awakening, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles, and slowly drawing your arms overhead for a full body stretch. With your next cycle of breath, drawing your knees into your chest, rocking side to side if you like, and rolling over onto your right side, resting your head on your right arm as a pillow. Rolling over onto our right side in this fetal position is a new beginning. Taking everything that we've learned, all of that good strong energy that we've created, all that positivity, taking it off the mat and into your daily lives. When you're ready, rolling back up into a seated position. I still have my eyes closed down. I've got a long spine, dropping my shoulders down my back, taking my chin down to my chest, taking another good strong, taking in another good strong breath, and all of that good strong energy, and exhaling everything else out, leaving it behind. And being grateful today. Grateful for our strong bodies and what they can do for us. And grateful for doing something good, strong, and positive for yourself today. It is my hope that you will accumulate all of this good, strong energy that we've created today and take it off of the mat and into your daily life. And maybe sprinkle it onto someone else that might need it with the days to come. It has been an honor to lead you through class. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, y'all. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.